is up? How's it going, everybody? Ted here with Bodies and Wicks. I know there's not going to be too many viewers tonight. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. Go over what happened today. Paul. I wanted to focus on one call because I thought it was going to be a good call, and even though things there were some things that did come out of it. It wasn't it wasn't the call I wanted it to be. Let's just be honest. And anybody who saw my call knows that it wasn't the call I wanted it to be. So, but first, what I'll do is I'll introduce myself. My name is Ted, here from Bodies and Wicks. Bodies and Wicks is my show. If we don't know what a body and a wick is, it is a candlestick, and that is what I do all my studying off of. I study candlesticks, study their movement, I study the algorithms, and I use the best of my knowledge, try to place all the trades that I can based off that. Right now I am doing a very challenging challenge to my own self. I placed $100 in a MT4 brokerage account, and I'm going to try to get it to $1,000. I'm going to do it with primarily the S&P, but unfortunately the S&P also can suck your money out. I'm going to try to do it with Forex. I'm going to try to do NASDAQ. I'm going to try to do anything and everything. Maybe not Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has a huge spread. Maybe some Ethereum, depending on how it looks. We're gonna take a look and see how it goes right now. But I want to kind of get this out of the way and talk to you guys and see what you guys think. But if you guys are a fan of smart money, which is what this is called, smart money, right? Not dumb money, not using trend lines, not using channels, not think of the word. Yeah, we can use indicators here and there, but not solely relying on them. Doing things that are going to necessarily be a lot different than those that trade normally, I guess you could say. Those, pick up a textbook, start trading. We do things a little bit differently. If you are one of those people that do like that kind of stuff and you learn this type of way of trading, what I suggest you do is go ahead and smash that like button. Please smash the like button. It gets the algorithm out there, it lets people know that I am out there, and also subscribe to the channel, because I'll be trying to bring more and more of this into it. And I'll admit when I'm wrong, and I'll admit when I'm right, and I'll tell you when I'm wrong, and I'll try to fix when I'm wrong, and we'll try to go from there, and we'll learning, and we'll just keep kind of build off of each other. Okay, I'm not trying to sit here and claim I'm a guru or anything like that, but what I do have a good ability of reading charts, and I believe I've proved that, and I believe I'll be able to show you that in the future. Unfortunately, the first day that I do run my Telegram channel and throw out a signal is a day that it kind of went flat, which is kind of odd. So we will go ahead and get down to business. So what I'll go ahead and bring up the chart here, and go ahead and transition over to it. And I'll try to get rid of some of this stuff, because I was looking at this as I was going along, trying to last minute calls and trying to scalp some. But this as well. So as the morning was coming up, right, I was and I was out. And then this is the thing, is it takes a lot of time for me to to type these things out and print these things out. From now on, I might just start doing, hey, sell here, buy here. If it doesn't do, I may just have to start shortening things up, trying to explain myself. I know explaining myself helps out a lot. That way you guys understand, that way you guys know where I'm thinking. But it kind of takes away from, me trying to understand the chart as well. So what I saw here is, as the price was going down right in the morning while I was at work. Okay, so it's 6 o'clock, I'm at work, price is going down, and I'm looking at this and I'm going, great, this is perfect. It's exactly what I wanted, because I wanted to see what was going to happen overnight. What the British, the London session was going to bring us, right? So London session brought us boom and high, and fell down a little bit, and then came up, boom, another high, right? And came back down, and then came a little bit underneath here. What this was breaker call. I don't know why I have R and R here, but I do. To me it looks like a breaker call, because it looks like this is well, almost a breaker call, because it's a fast up candle. It doesn't exactly get up to it, but either way, it fell back down, right? Falls down to a point, comes back up. And if we're looking at this at a 15-minute chart, roll over for me. This is what I'm looking at, right? I'm looking at this as a 50-minute chart, and what I did is I jumped the gun. I really did. I jumped the gun. So as 6 o'clock in the morning is rolling around and I'm watching this fall, I'm thinking it's going to come back up in here, because this is fair value. Okay, not that I even think about, you have 1, 2 more candles even think about. By the time 7 o'clock hits, I'm sitting here thinking about, it's gonna drive up right into this area, and then that is when it's gonna fall, right? I think I even had short position, right? I think short position got too well, but we'll move it. Got too well, but we'll move it. A short position right here, probably about right there, and I had it going all the way down to about right here, exactly where I had it going down to. And the reason I had it going down to right to that position, 2 reasons. I'll get to those reasons. 1, if we elect to take this and spread it out even further, right? And I'm horizontal array. If we look at it even further, boom, that is an order block right there. So 1, order block. Number 2, reason why I had it there was because of this also. We have 2 order blocks. Well, and 1 order block basically came down, hit the other order, and then that pushed it up. So, and because of this second order block, second order block had about 50%. That's what I look for. I look for an order block that has roughly about 50 of the block. It's down to about 50% of the block then at least less than 50% of the. I think we have a good call. Okay. So that's what I was looking for as far as the price coming down to. So add the order block way, and then we add then we had about half the order block coming down from the opposite, thinking it was going to move up so like I said, I jumped the gun. I was thinking we were going to move up into these fair value gaps first, right? I thought we were going to move into these fair value gaps first, and then it was going to jump down, right? Let me just get this right out here. Then I thought it was going to jump to these, or at least get down to these lows, right? And then once it got down to these lows, that was the point to where we're going to buy, or at least one of the points that I thought we were going to buy. I had 3 points laid out to where we could have possibly bought, and the reason I had 3 points laid out was because of liquidity, right? So the first long I had was right here, right? And the target I had was pretty high up here, and it still could be pretty high up here, right? We're not done yet. Tuesday was just a very, very odd day that kind of went sideways, and it could be setting us up for something else, right? So I had that for one. Number two, I think I had the long for right here. I think I had the long right there. Taking okay, here we go. All right, buy side liquidity, also another order block, right? So we had this, we had another order block, right? So this order block was the last down candle before the last push up. Now the thing is, really not really for sure if this is an order block or not because of this green spike down here. Not sure if it was an order block, but that was thinking, and it to get down to liquidity that it needed to get to, which right here was a breaker. Could have gotten down to that point there before. That was right. Wait, I'm way off. Hello. I'm at the yellow line. Yellow line. Okay. So yellow line right here. Reason being for the yellow line, one, underneath the liquidity. So right here. You see this liquidity right here. I thought it might get underneath this liquidity right here. Right. Then take off. Right. I realized with the liquidity though is that it actually touched this gap right here. So this liquidity actually closed in this gap. So, but still, I was thinking there was also a breaker block that I think way back. But still, we cut through candles. A breaker block could have done something that could have made it turn around else. Then I think I had the third long right around the same area. I think I had it right here at the break. But basically, I think I had 3 different areas. I'm not 100% sure exactly where they were right now because I dived everything. I didn't save it. But what I didn't realize is that when the bell opened, it did move up just like I thought it would. But the problem is that it hit these fair value gaps, not these fair value gaps. Because as it was moving down, I was already taking into consideration these fair value. This is 100% my fault. I didn't wait for all of it to complete, thinking, okay, it's gonna come back up here. I didn't wait for all of this to complete. If I would have waited for all of this to complete, I would have thought a completely different scenario, and I would have, as you can see, I have the consequent encroachment right here, and I would have said sell right here, right? Is exactly where I would have said to sell, which was 3948.8, right? Is the high of this candle. 39. Okay. That's not the consequent click. 3967, right? That's where I would have said to have buy, or I would have said to have sold. The high here is 3962.9. So this would have got right into the perfect spot that I would have wanted to sell, right? But didn't, because I was looking at this and not this fair value gap. So therefore it sold off. What did it do? It sold off right into the area that I wanted it to, right? Luckily I had a buy limit there, but the unfortunate thing is that I was thinking that it was going to go up, and so me personally, I made a dumb mistake and I was buying down here thinking that it was going to go up, that way I can make a little bit extra before it dropped, and because of that I lost money as it dropped. So that was my fault, and I hope nobody else did. So it did drop, right? And as it was coming back up, and this was the most annoying part right here, is it sit here for hours going back and forth. I could have made so much money on scalping rather than holding the position, right? I could have just opened more positions, scalped it. What I was saying is that the good thing is that, hey, we're creating a high, right? That since we're creating a high, what's going to happen, that it's going to get above the high, because people are going to think that's a short, right? What does it do? It breaks the high. As soon as it breaks the high and takes out all of those people that are shorting right there, it dropped automatically. And I should have thought about it, and I didn't even think about it, but I should have had a take profit or some kind of level right here as a take profit, because that was the close of the fair value gap. That was the close of the fair value gap. See, from here, this level to this level, that was the close of the fair value. Since it did come up and close the fair value, that would have been the perfect opportunity to take profit. First take profit. Drops again, or at this time, closing a fair value gap, sell, either or. All right, drops back down, and it hits the exact same spot to where I called for the opening, or at least where I said it was going to start to turn. This is where we start to see some positivity. So we do see some positivity out of this. I was holding again, waiting a couple hours, it was going sideways, and then all of a sudden it shot straight up. As soon as it shot straight up, what did it do? That exact level that I called, I thought it was going to at the very beginning, before it dropped, is what it hit. And it hit there, and as soon as it hit there, I let go of my trade, and I should have sold, let it drop. So the idea was there, the execution was not. So I do apologize to everybody that followed me and followed my trade, because I felt like I let some people down. I see with the mistakes I made, and I will be working on those and correcting those moving forward. That's for sure, because it's not over yet. I would have, and here's the other thing. We also had a 4-hour fair value gap. I want to say, where we had some kind of fair value gap in between here and here. I forget exactly what it was. Doesn't look like a fair value gap, to be honest. You go to the 4-hour and see what that turns in. Fair value gap there. 1 hour. Nothing. Okay, I have no idea where I got these yellow lines. Absolutely no idea where I got these yellow. It just goes from the bottom of this, right? Would have been opening of a fair value gap if there had been a gap on the other side, but there was no gap on the other side. So I have no idea where I is these from. These mean absolute thing, or maybe the bottom one does. That's for sure. The bottom one the bottom one was actually probably more of a breaker block, but that would have been pulled a little more down here, because that was where you have the high, low, right, and very low. You have, and the thing was, it wasn't even a higher high, so you had a high, a low, and then you had, well, I guess it was a higher high. All it did was a little bit of retracing. So did have a little bit of a breaker at the bottom there, but that didn't make too much of a difference, because every time it came back down to the breaker, the only thing it did kind of pounced up. Like I said, that being said, it came up right into that area that I thought it was going to go place at the very beginning of the, and then it drops at the end of the day. Like I said, the idea was there, just the execution wasn't. Now, the reason why I thought that it was going to go up a lot higher and go up for the rest of the day is because we had been breaking highs, right? We had been breaking highs throughout. I mean, we've been going up and up and up and up and up. And even though we got to this point here, right? We got to this high, right? That we got up this high, right? And you have the London session, no high here, but what you did have was equal highs. So what that tells me usually is that during the London session, especially at highs, going to run those. We're going to run those, but we didn't run those highs. Instead, we decided to fall back a little bit more. So I'm gonna have to take a look and see what's gonna happen in the London session tomorrow with the SPX. How this is gonna play out. If this is going to fall a little bit further, if this is going to come up a little bit further, I'm not sure. But the 6 a.m. drop, if I can get that every day, I can probably make a really good killer call. It's gonna depend on a couple different things. Usually whenever we do get these, I can usually see breakers, and I can usually see you know, like I did the other day, breakers, you know, getting a low to a high to another low, and then if it comes over up or that, none of that happened today. I mean, really none of that happened at all today. We had really no breaker, had no mitigation, we had nothing. It was just a very so whatever it was, I lost, you know, for my my $100 challenge. I lost, I think I lost 16 bucks. Hey, it is what it is. The good thing of that, 3 of that came from Naz, because I was watching Naz, I was reading Naz, and I saw a certain point in Naz where getting to a low point, and I could read the candle and I could tell it was going to go up, and I wish I would have held it, because if I did, I would have got 20 bucks. I would have got all my money. But NASDAQ today, NASDAQ fell a little bit. We're going to go back and try to do good for back. Gets to the high right here back in mid-February, and then that's when it drops. The funny thing is, mid-February, that is when Tesla decided it was going to announce that all of its earnings were going to go into bit, or not all of its earnings, but you know, hold part of its reserves in Bitcoin. As we all know, Tesla is part of. Well, so so here I have drawn out liquidity points. That's where this line is coming from. This liquidity point. Have this point here. So if we were looking at long range, what are we looking for? Are we looking for low level liquidity or high level liquidity? Well, the only thing is that what I don't like about this, that we have okay. This means there is about exactly the same amount of liquidity resting just below these. This is what is kind of scaring me on this aspect. However, recently what just happened with NASDAQ, as you can see, there was a 4-hour fair value gap, right? Increased into consequent encroachment. Move that into it, got about halfway, boom, push back out. Here, another fair value gap, pulls back down, and then it fills up the entire 4-hour gap. Now there's a small gap just below this. I don't think that it's gonna get right. So now that we filled this gap, right? I don't see any other big gaps other than this guy up here, even though it did get filled. The other gap that I would be looking for would be this guy right here. So if a angle here going from here here across, that would be your next fair value gap that you would be looking to try to break. Now so that is above the liquidity point, right? Equal highs here, gotta get above that, and look at all these highs here, right at that fair value gap, where it was again came back up, low came back up, fair value gap, closing ins, but all liquidity as well. I drew this out ahead of time. As you can see, already come back up and filled in this fair value area, even though there was really no fair value gap, because it immediately rebalanced. There really is no fair value gap right now. I want to get rid of that, and I want to see if there's anything else. In here is where we have a rebalance, right? You have a rebalance. What you do is you look for the candle before that, see if there's going to be another candle touch it. It does. Candle come down, touch it, then you have this candle comes down and gets about almost halfway through with it. So I'm looking at bullish NASDAQ right now. You got bullish NASDAQ, I'm looking at bullish S both, right? Here's a thing with NASDAQ here, here, here. We have consequent encroachment here. Could see possible push of that, right? Why everything just went crazy. And now we're this. But okay, it stayed there. So we could see a push back up to this consequent encroachment, or it fills actual gap. I think I may have these gaps extended too well. I got them extended because the algorithm remembers them. So I want to put another one right here. Over. And so separated from the fair value gaps. It. Coordinates. Okay. So again, I'm gonna see what's gonna happen going over the agent session. Agent session you just basically tell you where people are gathering their orders. Are they gathering their orders high, or are they gathering their orders low? Right? Are they gathering their orders? It's looking right to me right now dipping right now, they're gathering the flow. That way, up, they're making money. Unless somehow at the end of the day today, they were starting to gather their up here. That does to me just since comes down here, doesn't really, this spike really here, it really doesn't do anything. Breaks a little bit of liquidity here, nothing compared to have a big spike down here. If anything, it would have probably broke some really big levels, but instead had a spike. So I want to see if the NASDAQ just kind of moves along right through here. See what happens at 6 o'clock in the morning. If drop like FTX does, I think it did, if not mistaken. Oh, that was 1500. 105.6. Yep. There we go. 6 o'clock. I'm on the 1 hour. Didn't make drops, right? And what did it do after it made those 2 drops? Well, did push back up. Wasn't really a fair value gap, but it came back up into, it would have been a break. So this and the high, the low, high, lower low. Therefore, this would have been your break. So it came back up to the breaker, dropped. Right after that, comes back up, and then just consolidates. So that was the only big move that we had, was that breaker move. By breaker move, a little bit more low, high, lower low, high is the candlestick that you're looking at. Looking for something, especially if it goes lower, something to come back up into it and then drop. And that's what happened. Move was from here to here. That was your biggest move from NASDAQ. That was. But that was quite the move, that's for sure. 1,100 pips. I earned $12. That would have been an amazing move if I would have paid attention to that. We'll try to pay attention to both of these tomorrow and see what we got going. For now, going in consolidate Asian range. As you can see right now, we do equal highs. Right. Got 2 equal highs. If it stays below these equal highs, we're gonna make a run up for. At least that's what I'm hoping. The one for last time with us isn't how low it drops. As long as it stays in this kind of range, like too big of a fair value gap, we can get a run above these highs. Okay. And we have a low, a high, and lower high. So this right here would be more of a mitigation point. So what could actually happen if we do make a run above these highs? Probably going to run above this mitigation point as well. Fill in, see these fair value gaps right here. Fill in these fair value gaps. And then come back down, hit the mitigation point, and then go back up. That's what I'm thinking. NASDAQ tomorrow. See if it happens or not. That's a you move, but gotta stay down here. Gotta stay down here and move along till opening breaks, break these highs, right? Or it'll probably come up to these highs, get people faked out, drop it a little bit, and boom, break up a little more, fill up the fair value gap, drop down to the mitigation. Once it drops down to the mitigation, drop up higher. And what is the line? Good question. Probably a high or something. Oh no, it's probably a consequent encroachment. Sometimes I need to label these. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it's a consequent encroachment. Here. To here to here. Right. Is the two fair? Yep, that's exactly what that is. So have this big red candle going down, right? And now you have a big fair value gap all the way across through here. And within that fair value gap, have what's called consequent encroachment halfway point. So thing as long as it stays below here, boom, right above highs, right? You know, closing the fair value gap, pull back a little bit, boom, run up against consequent encroachment, probably here around this area. Then you're going to see a little bit of a pullback actually. That's probably we're going to see the pull, or you could see this actually run up. See this green line? This green line is the top of the fair value. You could see it run to the top of the fair value. Oh no. Could be one of those two. That's what I'm looking at for NASDAQ. Alright, Bitcoin. Let's see what Bitcoin is at. I'm liking Bitcoin because Bitcoin made a breaker move that nobody saw or saw coming. I put a lot of money into it right here and everybody thought I was crazy. And I was like, nope. I said, it's going up. And they said, why do you think it's going up? It's going back down. I said, because there's a breaker right there. So boom, right there, went up. So that being said, I think we have, here we go. We have another breaker here. But the question is, how high is it going to get? Because now we got all of this nastiness over here. Have bearish order block sitting right in its way, and I stopped it. Oh, it could be just going sideways for. Could be pulling down for a little. Pulls down for a little bit. Have you order block sitting right here. Could pull down to this block up. You don't see any fair value gap except for what I just outlined right below it. That would close up the fair value gap and hit bullish order block and then continue it. I think we have still more bullishness coming out of Bitcoin. Here what I drew was basically order blocks with breakers. So here I think we had a bunch of really weird high, low, high scenarios. So you have the drop, right? Low, high up here. You have the low, you have the higher low. So that is actually a mitigation point. So you have a mitigation point up here. Actually, just draw a horse right across there. There you have a mitigation point. The good thing, mitigation point means once you get across it, it acts as support. So mitigations don't usually mean distance. It means once it gets across it, support. So that thinking is what is going to happen. Probably going to see upwards, back, mitigation, and forward. Ethereum. Here was my projection on Ethereum yesterday. I was going to get a little bit higher. I thought it was going to drop significantly because we had all these fair value gaps down here that we hadn't touched. Then it was going to keep going after that. Then Saturday wanted going up. Then fair value gap been quite along, quite quick. Now that being said, there are a lot of fair value gaps in here that it is trying to contend with, and it's probably going to cause it to stall out in this area, because you're going to see it hit fair value gaps and try to bounce in between, a lot back and forth between them. And what I'm afraid of is that it's probably going to come up here and probably hit this highest one. All right, this 1 hour fair value gap around 1894, then drop. 84. Oops, hit the wrong button. Chart needs to be bigger. Yeah, I kind of threw this together last minute, man. Sorry. Here, let me see if I can pull something together here. Sorry if I'm just now looking at questions from people. Yeah, it definitely needed to be a little bit bigger. All right, there we go. Oh, like I said, where we at right now? 1869. And whenever I see fair value gaps pushed together like this, especially if they're 1 hour fair value gaps, you can see them right here. Well, these have been enclosed. Okay, so now we have a 15-minute premium, hasn't been enclosed. So 1878 could be a target, right? Then, well, this has already been enclosed, so that's no longer a target. Could still be a target just because the algorithm remembers it. 1878. Look at something. Look at 878. With kind of react it after we hit 18. Here. Two. Close enough. 1878. I want to see what happens whenever it gets to 1878. it's going to make some kind of pullback. See if we have any fair value gaps. So we already got starting a fair value gap right now. Bar this keeps going up. We not seeing any value gaps. Still weak down. Why I'm worried, not really worried, but I'm feeling that eventually Ethereum could fall back into crap, getting down near 17, but hopefully not. Get to 1878. We got some, and whenever it gets to 1878, it's has some good fair value gap action. Pull back in, order flow entry drill, and it'll push up automatically. Right. So that's all I got from that. That's all I got from the big guys. I want to take a look really quick at what's going on with my guys. Raven coin needs to make. I still think this coin that could really do some damage, some revolutionary damage. You can see did have a huge high, came back down, making it steps up, had a pullback recently. What happens with that, right? Cardano, again, same thing. I have this here, get rid of 8, absolute 8 trend lines. My thing was I found a 5-minute gap in between here, and sure enough came right into that 5-minute gap, and then boom, took off. Then I kept looking, and then I found another 15-minute gap down here, and what did it do? Hit the top of it, boom, took off. So, and the funny thing was, is it came back down right into this 5-minute gap, and boom, took off. So these algorithms remember all of these points. That mind, all these algorithms remember these points. All you have to do is look for gaps. Gaps will tell you everything. Off that trade. Take a look at the dollar. The dollar is absolutely killing it. You're seeing it going higher and higher. Probably, I think the best way to go to the, but if we go to the weekly, there is a volume imbalance that is happening, and it's making its way toward that volume. Especially if you're a gold trader, you're a Euro USD trader, more than likely you're going to be looking for lower prices. This right here, dead giveaway. You're going to be looking for lower prices in gold. Right. You have almost 2 equal lows. Right. Gold's probably going to do, not for sure, well, not dog. Gold's going to probably do, right, try to make its way up into fair value gaps, right? After it makes it up into fair value gaps, boom, it's anything else here. I just can't believe it's reached 1684. Whenever I remember it hitting 2000. So maybe probably not why we're seeing so much this low, because we're not used to seeing it this. Seeing it 1800s 1700s, things like that. Whenever it gets down to 1683, people don't really know what to do with gold. But I have a feeling tomorrow we're gonna gold, you know. Same thing with Euro US. On its way. Dollar is also on its way up, and the euro follows the dollar more closely than the other pair. You know, the pound can kind of be erratic here and there. Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar, those things can kind of be a little bit different. But if you want something that goes hand in hand, goes exact opposite, with almost exact opposite dollar, going to be the euro. So if you know how to read the dollar, you're gonna read the euro like a. As you can see right here, it had all this lined up as if this was going to be the next support zone. Then what did it do? Boom, drop below. That's what smart money does. And think that support zone, hey, buy, and as soon as people start buying, the banks go nope, boom, push it the opposite direction. Take a look at the pound. Not really sure what's going on with the pound here. Got too much going on. Pound came up, breaker of some sort before it dropped back. Actually, I think that was daily order block. That was daily negative order block, came back up, hit the negative daily order block, continue to move. Since then and you can see we kind of have almost two equal lows here. Surprise me if this it wouldn't surprise me if we do see it clear these highs right here, right? Take out this liquidity. Make people think, hey, it's gonna sell right here, and it will, but it's gonna get a little bit higher first, then sell. That's thoughts on. All right, altcoins, Filecoin. Let's see what's going on with Filecoin. Filecoin has been absolutely nuts lately. Took off again today. Jeez, what is going on with Filecoin? I thought 140 was like the magic number for gone way above 140 and it's 158. Does pull back. It does have some that in there. You have a fair value gap, which I would expect Filecoin to probably drop a little bit into this and then take off up out of it. You know, all we're seeing is higher prices. All we're seeing is higher. Even if it gets below this, it doesn't matter. That doesn't mean it got below a lower price or anything like that. What would really matter is if it got below. Right? That's what got below. Right, BDP. This is my new one. big data protocol. I think some good things are going to come out of this one. Again, brand new. Anything that has data in it, crypto world going to have some kind of consequence. I think people found it early. People that found it earlier, the people that have a lot of money, invested in it a ton, drove it up a lot, sold it off, right? Made some money out of it. Right? It's going to start catching some attention and it start driving up. One, this is also called Harmony in the NFP space. Sorry, NFT, non-fungible token. Getting really not for sure with what it's competing with. I think it's competing with Rari right now. But I just think it's a token to look at and where we are and compared to other things like that are at $42 right now. But if you go to Harmony, you're at 19 cents. And it shows you where this can go. If you jump in now to Harmony, who knows what could happen with it. And what else to go over? Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. It is 8 o'clock right now. I'm gonna get off of here. It has been long enough for me. And thank you so much for everybody for watching. I will be back on tomorrow and we will see what happens with SPX, with NAS, with all the major indices, and we'll see if I can't get my $100 challenge up to $1,000 sooner than later. The biggest thing actually I did want to go over, I do not want to forget about this, is we're going to go over to the news section, right? The news section, whatever, it has all the different cryptos, but I actually want to talk more about for dead because tomorrow is non-farm payroll. Yep, there it is. Folder, non-farm payroll change. So if you are doing anything with Forex, make sure you have your trades in before non-farm payroll gets released, and where you think you have a good bias as to what is going to happen between any kind of currency. Non-farm payroll change can the algorithm acts a lot differently whenever it comes to, especially when we have GDP coming out month over month from CAD, especially when we have final GDP quarter to quarter coming out pound. Also have retail sales coming out body. There is a ending home sale, the big one. The ending home sales to me is a big one because it's going to kind of tell us what people are thinking about doing, especially pre-post-COVID times. Are people getting out of states that are trying to lock them down, trying to go to more open states? And if that's the case, and we have more houses on the market, it's going to tell us, for one, we just got to look where those houses are, right? And more houses on the market, places where there's lockdowns, it just tells you housing could be in a little bit of a trouble, right? Thursday, have a OPEC meeting. We have bank holidays for not too much going on there. Of course, Friday is a do not trade on because it is earnings, non-farm payroll change, and unemployment rate all on the same day. That is Forex. That is not for indices. So I will still be at SPX as we go along. Okay. So thank you so much for always watching, being so generous and so kind to me. If you can, please do one more thing. Smash that like button. Let people know I'm out there. Let people know I'm trying to teach people new things about how to read charts. That there's this thing called smart money out there that people need to learn, not retail theory, right? Maybe a little bit of Wyckoff will help too. But just, don't be drawing trend lines and thinking that everything is going to be, handy dandy and hunky dory just because a trend line says everything is okay. Not going to work like that, right? I'm here to tell you that, and there's a lot of other people here to tell you that too. There's just a lot of us. I would say a lot of us, but there's a handful of us that trying to help you out. And again, I got my Telegram channel put into my description. Join it. Try to help us out tomorrow again. We'll see what happens when we come out of that, and hopefully the best of us happens. So thanks again for everything, for watching. Love you guys all. Have a great night. Happy Halloween, and